visual. I see it all.
Time. If y'all really ready, if y'all excited about Web3 and how we fucking take over the whole South by Southwest, make some noise.
Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about right now. All right, let's get this thing started. So I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Visual. I'm from Chicago. I'm an MC, creative, community builder, educator. I wear a lot of hats. I do my thing. I get down. NFTs are new to me. I'm not an expert. I'm 100% not an influencer. I'm here to walk you through my journey and do my thing and continue to build with dope people, which is what I've been doing the last few months. It's amazing. I love it. I'm excited about it, especially as an artist. I see the value to be able to give not only to myself, but to everybody that supports me and what I do, whether it's going to be through music, through visual art, through photography, whatever it may be. I'm super excited about what that brings, and that's why we're here today on an NFT experience brought to you by Newfound Voice. And we got this panel, and I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. Why don't we start over here on this side with Mr. Goldie. Please let the people know who you are and what you do, sir.
How you all doing? I'm Mr. Goldie. I'm an NFT artist. I'm actually from Chicago too, so we out here in the building. Got two of us here from Chicago. I'm the creator of the Scary Garys, if you all are familiar with that project. Just dropped last month. Started in the space about a year ago, and yeah, man, I'm just super excited to be here. Excited to continue to push this NFT, space forward, and yeah, man, let's do this.
Yes, yes, yes. And over here to my right, we have Lindsey Burns. Please let the people know who you are.
Hi, I'm Lindsey Burns. I am a NFT creator, photographer. I'm a collector, lots of one-of-ones and collectibles, and a curator, and also, I was part of the founding team of Warps by Warp Sound, an AI music driven NFT collection.
Love it, love it. Awesome. And here to my left directly, we have Spottie Wi-Fi. Sir, please introduce yourself to the people.
Yes, sir. I'm Spottie Wi-Fi. I'm a rapper, widely known as the best, only crypto-punk rapper alive, emphasis on the only. And basically, I kind of help innovate in terms of what we can do with music NFTs when I dropped my album last August.
Love it, love it, love it. And to the far left, we have Tyler, the creator of the Toks. Sir, let them know who you are.
My name is
Fire.
So yeah, here we go. Let's do it.
I love it. Well, guys, like I said, I'm very excited to be here with you all. And you guys know our topic is content creation in Web3. And I really want to know, and I want to start with Tyler. It comes down to content creation, man. What has been your process, especially as someone that is newer to the NFT space? Because I know you've been doing your thing art-wise for a while. Did you have some sort of direction ahead of time of how you wanted to approach your content? Or was this something that you guys just kind of were like, man, let's just go. We're artists, let's do it. Please walk us through that.
Yeah, well, I bartended for 18 years, and one day I just started reading about NFTs, and I said, I've been drawing and doing these stupid fucking things for forever. So, let's give it a go, because I've thrown everything that I've ever made in my life away. So I'm like, art-wise, not my whole life. But yeah, so I just started doing it, and I started doing really well, and then, but what I do is I just, I pick up a ball of clay, and I just look at it for a minute, and just look at, I'm from South Carolina, near Myrtle Beach, so there's an entire group of people that are just, they're aliens almost, and so that's pretty much the inspiration of these guys. It's basically all people from Myrtle Beach that I've dealt with bartending for my whole life, and in fact, it's like all of my creations that I've ever done are just people I've met over, the course of my life, and I just sculpt them, and it's I just sit there and I don't know what I'm doing at the very beginning. It's just I let the clay tell me what to do in my hands, and I just start moving things, and I see something really cool, and I go, that works. I like that. All right, let's do it.
Love it. That's dope, man. That's very dope. Spottie, man, as an artist, creating music, obviously you started making music before NFTs, before you had the punk. Like, walk us through that, man. Like, how did that transition go for you to start creating content in Web3?
So I was doing music full-time years ago, you know, in the SoundCloud era, in the blog era. I've been in bands, I've been in rap groups, I've been a solo artist, put out projects that were, you know, getting blog love, were well-reviewed and all that. But it was very hard to make a living doing that, you know, very hard to pay your bills. So eventually I got pretty burnt out by the old school music industry, and I thought it was really over for me as a career. I thought it would just be a hobby, a fun thing, and I got a day job. I got good at my day job, and I was doing that for years, and like figured out like, you know, oh, this is what it feels like to pay the light bill on time and things like that, and it was kind of a good feeling. And then COVID hit, and that job, I lost that job.
Wow.
And thankfully, I had been buying crypto, you know, a little bit here and there for a couple years, and that ended up being like my life jacket all 2020. Then January last year, I started hearing about NBA Top Shot. I ended up hearing about CryptoPunks. And by this point, my like crypto had appreciated a bit. So I finally had like some crypto that was worth something. And I said, if I believe in this technology, I might just buy a CryptoPunk and say fuck it and like really. And I was seeing it really just as an investment. I wasn't thinking about music at all, just a way to like diversify. And then I start following other CryptoPunks on Twitter, right? And I just see that like anybody with a CryptoPunk, people are gonna listen to them. And you have no idea who they are, you have no idea their background, they could know nothing, but they're gonna get followers and they're gonna get an audience. And as a musician, a light bulb went on where it was like, a musician is always trying to figure out how do I captivate people, how do I get their attention, how do I get them to tune into me,
Yes.
you know? And I didn't see anybody doing anything creative with the CryptoPunk. And then I was inspired by bands like the Gorillaz or like artists like Madvillain, and I just said, you know what? I'm gonna make a character and I'm gonna rap as my CryptoPunk. I'm gonna personify my CryptoPunk, and made a song called I'm Spottie, just like having fun with it, you know, telling his backstory, not from my perspective, but from his perspective. And people embraced it because it was new and they hadn't really seen somebody use an NFT for that in that way up to that point. And then it just snowballed, and I just kept putting out songs, and people kept appreciating it, embracing it.
I love that, man. That's great, especially as an artist myself, man. You know, seeing that journey, and it's crazy too how COVID, like, it brought a lot of us here, right? It's crazy, man. How like something so crazy like a pandemic has brought a lot of people to Web3. That's amazing, man. I love it. Lindsey, as a photographer, please let us know like what that was like, that transition into Web3 and realizing like, hey, I've been doing photography for a while. I'm established and I want to get into Web3. Like, what was that transition like for you?
Yeah, well, so not dissimilar to what you were just describing. I was buying crypto in 2017.
Okay.
And then I was upset in 2018, and I kind of put it away. But I really felt I had a conviction. I felt I was going to come back to it.
Sure.
So, you know, many people suggested, "Oh, just sell it. Like you'll be, you know, whatever." And I was like, "No." And then of course COVID. I'm a portrait photographer mainly for, you know, my work was maybe 80% was band photography and advertising for bands. So, you know, the promo photos that you see over and over and over again. And so that's really personal. It's really, I couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
Because I couldn't have like 5 people breathing on me, you know? They didn't want me breathing on them. Right. And so, yeah, it just kind of happened where my partner said, "Hey, have you looked at your wallet lately?" I was like, "No, I don't do that anymore." And he said, "You should probably do that." And I was like, "Whoa." And then in the same breath, it was, you know, "Have you heard of NFTs?" And it was it. That was actually it. It took maybe, I don't know, a day, because I heard all the things I needed to hear. I heard about a new creator economy. I just kind of automatically got obsessed. I'm sure that the financials were, you know, inspiring.
Sure.
But you know, I love photography and I love art and music, and all of a sudden I felt, you know, I ended up in Clubhouse.
Okay.
I ended up in these audio apps and talking to people who had similar interests. I started seeing artists that I knew from when I worked at Juxtapose many years ago, and so it was like kind of a ripcord. And then one day I was just inspired to put out some personal work, which I don't do. I do work for other people. I shoot for you. And all the other stuff I just never would put out for people to see. I didn't think anybody cared.
Right.
And it was like maybe 3 or 4 in the morning because I was like, I'm just gonna do this. And I woke up, and from the first sale to the last sale to it selling out, it was less than an hour, maybe 45 minutes, 30 photos, and I haven't put out another one yet, but it's coming. I have them locked and ready. It's emotional, but I was inspired, so I probably just talked for so long.
No, that's great. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to learn about everybody on here, and I think that's awesome. Like, that 1 hour to sell out must have been like, what? That happened already? Like, that must have been amazing for you.
Yeah, it was wild. I kind of just didn't believe it.
Yeah.
And then I watched people resell, like, immediately. And I was like, what is this? Because I come from, I collect art.
Yeah.
I have art that I collect until I need to not have it anymore.
Sure.
And it was just a whole different feeling. It was like all of a sudden I was helping my supporters. They were now, gaining, which...
Along with you.
Yeah. We were on that journey together,
Yes.
and it was a feeling like I haven't had probably ever.
That's amazing.
I don't know how to describe that.
I love it.
We were all winning together, and
Yes,
that's kind of that's the promise, right? I mean, it's not a promise, but it's like you put out you get back what you put out.
Sure.
I want to get back what I put out, and I want to put out that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. Mr. Goldie, let's bounce over to you, man. As a creative, like, what was your transition like into Web3? Was it something that you kind of already had in the back of your mind, or how did you jump into it?
Man, my situation is completely different from all y'all's, man. I'm still in my rookie year of technically making art, man. I was actually into NFTs before I started making my own NFTs or making my own art in general. I got into the NFT space around a year ago, around this time. I was investing in crypto. I had like a decent job working a 9 to 5 or whatever, and I was putting like the majority of like my paycheck into crypto. I believed in it. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get rich off this, you know what I'm saying? So fast forward to March of last year. Well, I'll take that back to February of last year. That's when I learned about NFTs. And I found out about NFTs on YouTube through a basketball YouTuber. It had nothing to do with technology, art, anything like that. But he was talking about NBA Top Shots.
Right.
So that was my introduction into NFTs. And honestly, I couldn't wrap my head around, you know what I'm saying, the concept of NFTs. So fast forward, I believe a month later, Beeple has his $69 million sale. So it kind of clicks, you know what I'm saying, as far as like, okay, I can see why, art would be valued, or, NFT would be purchased for art as opposed to a video clip of LeBron James dunking on somebody. So long story short, started investing. I had like Hashmask, I believe, if you all are familiar with Hashmask, that's like my all-time favorite project. That's the first project I bought into. And yeah, man, if you all are familiar with last February, March, it was still like, like the prehistoric times in the NFT space. You didn't have, Twitter spaces, things like that. So I didn't have anyone to teach me, guide me, tell me, don't do this, don't do that. So long story short, I got my wallet hacked and lost like everything, man. NFTs, crypto, everything. And I was really in kind of like a low point in my life.
Yes.
And something told me to pick up a paintbrush and start painting, man. I got some canvases, started painting. I already knew how OpenSea worked and NFTs worked because I was buying some. So it was a simple transition, you know what I'm saying, to go from buying them to making them. I put them on OpenSea. Took maybe 2 weeks for my first NFT to sell, man. It was for like 0.0000, however many zeros. It was like the equivalent of like $5, man, but it didn't matter, dude. I understood, like, you know what I'm saying? I saw that power, man. Yeah. And ever since then, dude, I've done so, man. I don't want to like pat myself on the back, man. I mean,
do it.
I was predominantly a one-of-one artist last year. I build up like a following. I'm on Maker's Place, Known Origin, Foundation, all that stuff or whatever. But around the end of the year last year, something told me to make like a PFP project or something. You know, the Scary Gary's project kind of came to me. And if you see like at the end of this video, I'm Not Art is kind of promoted. That's a gallery out in Chicago, and I'm super connected with them. They've like followed me through my NFT journey. So once I kind of came with the concept and had everything together, I went to them and I'm like, yo, this is what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. And they were, you know, fully supportive of me. So yeah, man, they dropped February 8th. It was 750 of them. They sold out the first day. I made like 100 ETH in secondaries in the first week. It's been a really, I mean, it was in-home. I didn't use any promotes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't pay nobody, none of that. This is all, you know what I'm saying, genuine me, man. So this is my baby, man. This is my first project, and this is my first project. Like I said, I'm still feel like I'm a rookie in this game. So it's a lot that, you know, growth and things like that. I didn't draw on a digital tablet or anything until the end of last year and made that. Yeah, yeah, man, I'm just getting started. So
that's what's up.
Yeah.
I love to hear it, though, man. I love to hear it. That's great. So let's step outside of our direct art that we're creating in Web3, and let's get into content outside of our art that we're creating. You know, we got Discord. You know, we got Twitter. We got social media and other ways to attract people to what we're doing. Tyler, let's start with you, and I want to hear, like, first of all, what do you prefer, Twitter, Discord, and
Twitter.
What else are you guys doing?
Twitter, absolutely Twitter.
I'm there with
the thing about doing these projects, I mean, especially coming from, you know, the artistic side, is we're a different breed, and it's hard to be sociable sometimes.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of work. Like me, I'm probably 5 Jamesons in right now because I have to come up here. Only 5. I might have had 6. Who's counting? But you have to be on all the time.
Yes.
And the problem is, no, it's not a problem. Sorry, let me cut that back. It's not a problem. You have to be on all the time. So it's, you know, I'll wake up from dreams, like, you know, I might sleep for an hour and I'll wake up and I go, oh my God, what's going on in Discord? I got to get there. They're probably bitching at me that I'm not there. Then I'll get on and then I'm like, all right, whatever. But no, yeah, Twitter, well, like he said at the end was, you know, at the very beginning, you didn't have Twitter Spaces. You didn't have all these other ways of communication. When I first started, it was Clubhouse, and you had to get an invite. And then I was like, I'm not going to do Clubhouse. So it was a lot easier at the very beginning with just Twitter. But then, you know, Discord became a big thing, which Discord has its, I mean, I love Discord.
Sure.
I mean, I do. But the problem with Discord is sometimes, like, I mean, you got to have really good security also because it can get hacked and they can ruin your project in 2 seconds. So it's always kind of like dumbfounded me why we have to be on Discord when your project can completely get ruined by someone coming in there and hacking it and saying,
yes,
mint now, and then people do it. So hopefully there'll be some sort of, you know, way of doing there's something, but it's
Spottie, you popped in right away and said Twitter, man. Like, why Twitter over Discord?
Well, Discord is like a necessary evil to me. You know, Discord allows me to, like, Discord allows me to have conversations with only the people that have my NFTs in a very frictionless, relatively frictionless way that I can't really do very easily on other platforms as far as I know. So like when I put out a new song or a new video, I go into my Discord and I have a channel just for the people that have my NFT, and I'll say, okay, I'm dropping a new song in a week, or I'm dropping a new song in a month. You guys get to enjoy it before anybody else, you know, or here's the video, nobody's seen this yet, and it's a world premiere. Or like I'll do, I've done viewing parties in my CryptoVoxels parcel. You know, I have like a thing built out in CryptoVoxels, and I'll go there and tell them like, this is the time, this is the location. You know.
Right.
And then Twitter is also a necessary evil, but at least, Twitter, I enjoy Twitter just because I talk my shit. People know people know if nothing else, like I'm going to speak my mind and I'm going to speak from the heart. And I say, like, I'm not always right, but I'm always real and I'm always all caps. So, you're going to hear it. So that's why I love Twitter. Even though, it's gotten me in trouble sometimes. In fact, I'm in the middle of a Twitter spat right now, and it's good that I'm here because I'm not on my phone. So,
and everybody listening, I can attest to Spottie being all caps and talking his shit. Trust me, he does. I see it a lot.
All caps,
I respect it,
no
though.
cap.
I respect that. I love it. Lindsey, Mr. Goldie, like, what's up? Twitter or Discord? Which is it?
I all of them. They're all for
Okay.
different reasons.
Okay.
At least in from my perspective. There's Twitter is more about promoting,
Sure.
outward promotions. Twitter Spaces is different. Twitter Spaces is more about community building and talking with people, or doing things like this. You can do that. You can have roundtables. Education, security.
Yeah.
I do a weekly Music Mondays. It's just an hour about music and Web3, and we pick different topics and we talk to people. So it's
Yes.
more of like a interview type of thing.
Sure,
I think
sure.
that you can use Twitter or I can use Twitter in that way. I think that they all can work together. Discord, like Spottie was saying, you can have token gated access.
Yes.
You can give more to your community in that way. You can connect with others. But there is the security, but that's about education and educating, being careful, taking that extra time to secure, make warnings, try really hard not to let bots come in, because that's really, that's the difference between a quick build and one where you build one by one by one. So if that makes sense, it is like when we were building warps, it was honestly, it was really challenging because we secured it down really hard, and we got outside help for that, and it was like 20 people to begin with.
Yeah.
And then it was one by one by one, and it was a lot of like this and and Clubhouse too, and kind of whatever tools could be used. I was up till like probably 3-4 in the morning every day on Clubhouse. Sometimes I still am, and in Twitter Spaces. So I don't know what's going to come next, but there's a lot of tools that are being developed, and hopefully they'll all start to bridge and make sense. And I think that we're all helping each other with our experiences.
Exactly. 100%. Love that. Mr. Goldie, man, what's up? Twitter, Discord, which is it, bro?
Lindsey pretty much kind of covered everything. I think it different platforms have their pros and cons, definitely. I mean, Discord, man, is definitely a necessary evil. Yeah, I love my community in Discord, but it's so much to, you being the artist, trying to stay engaged, stay involved, while also doing your artwork and your other stuff that you have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot, but I started off on Discord. I'm sorry, not on Discord, on Clubhouse. I like Clubhouse. I like how, however many people can come up on stage and get to, voice their opinions, as opposed to Twitter, where it's, restricted, I guess you could say. And it seems like it's more like competition to kind of be heard, if you know what I'm saying? If you
That's interesting.
kind of understand that. But yeah, man, I like all of them. I mean, you can use all of them to connect to people and teach people about NFTs, so all of them are beneficial, you know what I'm saying, in that aspect.
Sure.
I think I like Twitter Spaces the best. I like Twitter. Twitter's good.
You know what? I'm gonna definitely agree with that. Like I'm personally like I'm Twitter over Discord all day. Honestly, like I don't like Discord like at all. Like I plan to put out projects and I'm not using Discord like at all. Sorry if you use Discord. Sorry if you feel it's necessary. I can't deal with it. I don't like the way it functions. I don't like being inside of it. It drives me a little crazy.
Overwhelming, man. It'll get overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. It's like I'm just like, no, I can't do it.
You lose sleep for sure.
Dude, yes, yeah.
Sure.
And the thing about Twitter, like I feel like you guys mentioned Spaces. I love Spaces, and the thing about Spaces to me and Twitter in general, it's like it's conversational. You know what I'm saying? Like Spottie says, he's on there, he's talking this shit, and like if somebody feels it, like they're gonna reply back and they're gonna jump in a conversation with him, retweet it, like and if they don't feel it, exactly. See, and if they don't, he's gonna get it right back, and then that's why he says he's got like a little beef going on right now that he's able to take a little break from.
But there's that cutoff. You got that cutoff that you don't have on Discord, other than like you're ignoring this person on Discord, and then they go, "Why are you ignoring me?" But on Twitter, you can be like, "Oh, I didn't see it." It's like, sorry.
But from a performer, from that point of view, Twitter sounds like it sounds really bad. It's compressed audio.
The Twitter
you can
Spaces
have,
are rough, though.
And
they need to work on them. Yes,
and you can have, and it's constantly going down. Like,
yes.
there's all of these things.
Yes.
I think it really depends on what you're trying to do.
100%.
I want to showcase artists.
Yes.
I want to have them streaming into a Discord where people are captive and they are watching and they can hear them. And I'm not trying to be combative.
Yeah,
I'm
get
offering
it,
another perspective.
I think you're making a great point.
It is challenging. Discord is hard, and
Yes.
and it's kind of like reading YouTube comments. It's kind of like reading YouTube. It's
a great
like
way to. I never even thought of it. That's a great way to put it.
yeah,
Wow.
it's like you like.
Like trolling.
Yeah,
it's a lot of trolling.
I think I learned really early on from working with a lot of musicians. You put your stuff out there, and it's really easy to look at the bad things, and it's really easy for people in Discord to touch you with their words.
Yes.
But if you believe anything anybody says to like pump you up, then you're gonna believe the bad. You just can't look at it.
Yeah.
You gotta like get through it like that, and just don't look at it, and then it might not be such a bad place. Shut that channel down.
Yeah.
Go into another channel.
Right.
You have control over that in a way, and real community in there.
Yeah.
But the Web3 experience that we're going into is so much more about this concentrated 500 captive people that are there for you, as opposed to 20,000 who are barely listening.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, but I get it. Again, not trying to be combative.
No, you're
I
good.
just think that there's ways to move through it to avoid those pitfalls.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. Mr. Goldie, you said something, man, when you were talking about Twitter Spaces. You kind of mentioned that you felt like it was competitive. I kind of see that, man, and I wanted to ask you personally, like, if you feel it's competitive to be in the space and, like, be heard because of the people, like, running the space? Or do you feel like it's in general like that? I mean, because just from my experiences, man, I've been in spaces where I feel like, okay, you guys are like, there's a format, right? Like, somebody might be running in like an interview, and I get that. I'm there to be a listener. But then there's times where I see the spaces that are being run where it's like, I'm seeing the same people over and over be the speakers, and the spaces with like hundreds of people in them, and nobody else is able to come up. Like, why? How are you really connecting with people? Like, is that what you're saying? That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, let me.
Is that what you meant?
Let me first shout out my guy Logic, Chicago. I know I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Logic.
For sure. Shout out.
I'm good friends with Logic, and he hosts spaces all the time. It's always hundreds of people in Logic space, and I talk to Logic a lot, like kind of like a big brother, just getting information and things like that. And I say competition in the sense that just kind of something that he explained to me is that he likes to keep things active as far as like, kind of switching people in or out of, what I'm saying, the speaker section. I say competition in the sense that it could be a room or it could be a space with 200-300 people, and it's only 12 spots for people to voice their opinion. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to other ways that, Clubhouse, where all 50, 100, however many people can be on stage and go crazy at once. So
that's crazy.
It's competition in that aspect as far as I feel for kind of like the new artists. I guess us up here on the stage, we don't necessarily have to be in a Twitter space or whatever to, voice our opinion or for people to know who we are. But I'm friends with a lot of people that are still, unknown, if you want to call it that. So they come into, Logic's Twitter space, they probably don't have a chance of speaking, getting on the stage just because of their follower count or whatever the case may be. So it's a lot of,
See, and that's why I asked, man, because, I mean, me being somebody that, I'm an artist, I'm a creator. I haven't done an NFT yet. I'm 100% planning to. But I kind of look at it more like, I don't know, it's just me. It's always been me that I'm like, if you haven't gotten an opportunity, like, I'm going to pull you up. I'm pulling you up. And I don't just mean it like, in a Twitter space. Like, I'm talking about in anything I'm doing. Like, that's why you'll see people here tonight or even people will have videos running tonight that aren't able to make it here that we just pulled up. We pulled in. We met you. We rock with you. We feel the vibe. We feel the energy. We like what you're doing. We appreciate the art. We respect having the same vision, moving the same way, whatever it may be that made us connect. And that's just me. That's how I move. Like, if I'm in a room, I'm running it, I'm hosting, I see hundreds of people in there. I'm scanning. I'm a scanner. I'm pulling up. I'm literally just inviting you to speak. You're like, you might be scared because I've had people DM me like, I've never done this before. I can't speak. I'm like, I've never met you before. Come speak. But what do I do? Like, no, just come up and speak. I'm just gonna talk to you. Like, I want to meet you. And that's literally what I've done. And I'm not sure if people are actively doing that. But I feel like it's a major key. At least from my perspective.
I think people, if they should be doing it, if not, especially if you have that voice that you can bring all these people up that want to introduce themselves and talk about their art.
Because you mentioned like follower count. I'm like, bro, I don't know. Me personally, I don't care if you got 10,000 followers, 100,000, or 10. Like it's just a number.
A lot of gyms. It's a lot of collectors that have like 100 followers. It's a lot of man. Don't let these numbers fool you.
Thank you. Exactly.
I've learned a lot, man.
But yeah, man, I was curious about that perspective from that. But let's move on to something else, guys. So whoever wants to pop in first, let's get outside of the the Twitter, the creation. I want to know what are you guys looking forward to next in Web3? I mean, things are growing, things are developing. I feel like a day in Web3 is like a month in Web3, So what are you guys looking forward to next? Whether it's with your own personal projects or just as Web3 develops. And whoever wants to pop in, please go ahead.
That's tough. That's a good question, though, but it's tough. Because you're right. Because I started really in April last year, and that was 47 years ago. So I mean, it's been so much, and especially with my project when I started sculpting these guys in September, and I really didn't get done sculpting until probably January. Yeah. And so, from September to January.
How many years?
That was 10 years. But from September to January, 10 years. That was, the space had changed. It completely changed. And when I'm up in my room, closing the door, they're putting pancakes under
you were
the.
In the basement though.
Oh wait, I was both. I was both. Yeah. I go back and forth. But when you close the door and they're feeding you pancakes under the because it's the only thing that slides under a door.
It's the only thing that fits under the crack.
Yeah, it's the only thing that fits. But when you're doing that, it's like, when I was doing that, I kind of cut myself off.
Yeah.
Which, not a good move, but you do it because you want to, as an artist, you focus on your work and you're like, I can't have any outside influence and it's just got to be all about, what I'm focusing on. A day in Web3 is not the same as yesterday. It just completely changes every day. Every day. So you just got to be ahead. I mean, who knows what they're going to do next? I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's the best time as an artist to be alive to where you actually make money on your art. And not even make money on your art, it's just to actually have your art out there and people, saying, hey, you're doing good. Like, I like your stuff. And the money's nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. But it's just the recognition. You're like, oh, cool. You do like my shit. Because, I've been doing this for, 20 years and I throw it away and everybody's like, whatever, you do what you want to do. But no, it's the best time to be alive.
Yeah, man.
We're very lucky. We're very fortunate, all of us, especially as creators. If you're an artist out there, get on this shit, man.
Yes.
Please do it. Even if you're
it.
scared, just jump into a Twitter space.
Yes.
I had a panic attack. So I did a thing with Mad Rabbits right before my launch, and I had the biggest panic attack I've ever had in my life. And when I was up there talking, I couldn't talk. Like, words weren't forming. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm like, I'll be right back. So I get off for a minute. I like calm down. I get back on. Everything's fine. The worst part is we had our Twitter space.
Yeah.
So because of that reason with Mad Rabbits, we had our Twitter space. My signal in my house was going down. So in my head, I go, oh my God, everybody thinks I'm like
I remember that.
dying again, and they're gonna say, oh my God, he's ruining. He's a moron. But no, it was.
It was nothing like that. We had a blast.
Oh man, it was so much fun.
That was fun.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yes. Anybody else? What are you guys looking forward to on Web3? Please pop in. Anybody?
We're like, I'm like, you want to go? I'll go. Yeah, I mean, every single day I think about this, like, what is next, and what is next for all the artists up here?
Yes.
What are you gonna do next? You know, what are all you gonna do next? We're at South by Southwest. Like, there's so many innovators. There's so many builders.
Yeah.
There's so many new things happening. What's it gonna look like when everyone is chain agnostic? What's it gonna look like when, you know, we're all working together using this technology? You know, how is that going to look? There's big platform announcements. There's, you know, more people coming in every day.
Yes.
What, I mean, what isn't there to look forward to? I really do think there's just so many people making and creating, whether it's, you know, I mean, the time is kind of now.
Yes.
You know, I like coming from early kind of, you know, mid 90s, watching, you know, the street art go into like galleries, like real galleries, paying attention, and all of that stuff. It's the same energy, you know, the .com boom.
Yes.
What happened? So many people doing so many exciting things, and then who, you know, what happened? Who partnered together? Who was left standing? You know, and then what happened? And that's happening here.
Yeah.
So every day, you know, I get to meet new, exciting people. I'm so thrilled. Thank you for having me.
You're absolutely correct on that.
You
Like,
know?
especially, like, you know, with the .com and the graffiti, just seeing all the graffiti and all the all the galleries, and it's that we're the next thing. So
we had two incredibly challenging years.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
as human beings,
Yes.
all globally,
Yeah.
and through like great tragedy, I think comes amazing art always. You know, it's inspiring. Pain is inspiring, and technology has been pushed forward in a way and become available to someone like me, who's not. I'm not the brightest. You know, I'm like average intelligence. You know, but I have access to this now, probably a little earlier than I should have.
Right.
You know.
You're absolutely right too, because like COVID-19 and all that thing, it forced us, like, you know, we're locked down. We can't leave our house. You know, you can't go anywhere. And so we're all focused on art, and that's where pretty much we all started. And there was just, it's such a terrible time that was, and still is. A lot of good came out, but a lot of bad too. But I mean, you know, sweet and your sour. It's like, you know.
100%.
I haven't said anything. I'm just excited about the future, kind of like what all of us are saying, man. Just like using me, I don't like to use me as an example, but using me as an example, someone who nobody knew of before last year to, dude, last month I was in LA, man. I did an event with Rolling Stone and Coinbase, dude. Me and 11 other artists.
That's amazing.
Like, to, you know what I'm saying? It feels like I'm dreaming almost. You know what I'm saying? So I like to tell my story, because it's like, if I can do it, I really feel like that. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
100%.
If I came from nowhere, out of nowhere, didn't have any credibility, this like that before last year, why can't you do it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just excited for stories like mine. You know what I'm saying? Hearing about stuff like that, amazing stuff like that, bro. That's what's exciting, you know, about. I'm excited too, man, about like gamification or whatever. I think that's gonna be real cool. Once somebody figures out like a dope game where, you know, you tokenize whatever, you getting paid to play it or whatever. I'm really excited for that next step, you know.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, I mean, ApeCoin just gonna say it.
Oh yeah, today's a big
That
day.
just happened.
Today's a big day.
I got 3
yeah,
hours of
like,
sleep.
dude.
This is
Crazy, right?
This, tokenization of communities and reward. And Spottie, I want to hear what you're excited about.
Well, I am excited about ApeCoin. That's why my eyes are a little red right now. I've been on 3 hours sleep as well, but I'm really excited for the user experience to get better. Right now, if you walk out on the street and you just pull an average person, and they don't have ETH or they don't have a MetaMask wallet, and if they love my music and if I can explain to them the value proposition of like, this is why the NFT is powerful, because you have a mechanical license, you have a copyright license, there's rarity, blah 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 blah. Great. How do I buy? Okay.
Right.
Do you have half an hour? Let's find a Starbucks.
Yes.
That's like, the barrier to entry is extreme, and so that also of course impacts the lack of diversity, the homogeny of the NFT space, or the perception thereof. So, and then it's the same thing on the creator side. You could be an incredible artist, but your minting options might be limited. Like, you can mint on OpenSea, and like, artists have done phenomenally well minting on OpenSea. My guy Justin Aversano is the Michael Jordan of OpenSea. You can mint on OpenSea, and that's a good option for a lot of artists. You can mint on Manifold now. That's a great option. Manifold.xyz. If you're not familiar, get in tune with them. But then if you want to do something a little bit more novel, if you want to do like a blind mint, or if you want to have different rarity traits and things like that, you really need a developer. There's so much. There's a million things. There are infinite things that you need a developer for, and there's way more people that need a developer than there are developers. So that's a real problem, because like right now, the only reason I was able to do my drop the way I did it in August at the time that I did it was because I had developers. And the only reason the developers, I love them, but the only reason that I was able to get their attention is because in February I spent the equivalent of $40,000 on a CryptoPunk. If I wasn't the CryptoPunk rapper, I would have just been hey, I'm a rapper, I want to make NFTs. Right. Cool.
Next.
Right. Yeah. So, once that playing field gets leveled, once there's more open source tools where you can go in and just say, okay, here's my spreadsheet of all my assets, here's the rarity I want to assign to each one.
Sure.
And you can just, with one click, with 0 fees, and you can just mint that shit without having to like find a developer and wrangle them. That's going to be really impactful, And I mean, it's going to present all the same issues that democratization presents, where like there will be all of a sudden another flood of like, right now there's a ton of artists that are coming in and a lot of collections that, will they stand the test of time? And with access, that question persists. But that's what I'm excited about. It's just the user experience is getting better. And when our grandmothers, when the people around us that they I used to work, this is like an aside, I used to work doing telemarketing for MCI. I used to have people tell me they wouldn't do transactions with a credit card over the phone.
Right.
And I was like, well, have you ever ordered a pizza? You know what I mean? But like, once we get to that point where it's as easy as ordering a pizza, that's when we've arrived.
Yeah. 100%. I love that. I love that insight, man.
And it should be, though, especially the blockchain technology. It's like, we should be using it for almost everything.
Yes.
To me, personally.
Yeah,
like, from voting to everything. Like, there's just records. It's all record. And just do it.
You can't lie with the blockchain.
You can't lie with the blockchain.
You can't lie. Yes. I love that. All right, guys. Well, look, we're heading towards the end of our time here on the panel. I just want to leave everybody here listening with some final words. Whether you guys want to give some insight on something, some advice, and definitely please let's end it with letting everybody know where they could find us on Twitter or any other social media, our websites, things like that, so everybody could get in tune with us. Whoever wants to go first.
I would just say do your own research, really get into it and ask a lot of questions, and there's plenty of people who are willing to help, but also it's when I say it's early, it means it's early. There's a lot of room for mistakes, and I'm a doer. I've made a lot of mistakes. I think that somebody really early on said, they said, we're pioneers, and I don't want to be a pioneer. I want to be a settler. You know, because with being a pioneer, there's mistakes. A lot of them died. You know what I'm saying? So I think that do the research, and it's okay to go slow, even though it moves fast. That's what I would say. You know, like, look, make sure, we talked about this. We talked about hacking. There's a lot of really smart people in the space. You know, follow the smartest people. Follow the smartest people.
Yes.
I think that's great advice. My advice would be just a few things. I would say, like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, draw inspiration from from things that you see working in the NFT space. You know, like Picasso said it. You know, great artists steal. You know, like, steal some shit. If you see somebody doing something, like, I'm a musician. I stole shit that I saw work for the CryptoPunks. I stole shit that I saw work for the Bored Apes, for Punks Comic. And I said, nobody's doing these different things in music, so I'll do that. Yep. And I didn't do anything nobody did before, if you think of it in a multidisciplinary sense. So think outside of your own discipline. Very tactical, but if you're gonna make an NFT, however many you think you want to sell fewer. However much you think you want to sell it for less. The key is the secondary royalties. And you want those early buyers, those early supporters, you want them to get in at a great price so that your Discord is enthusiastic and the energy is high because they got in at a great price, and they know that if for any reason, if they need to, like, pay some bills, they're good, you know, and they're not underwater. Check me out at SpottieWiFi.com, at Spottie Wifi on all platforms, SPOTTIE. Hizzy, what is that? Oh, and I'll be performing here at 6 p.m. I'll be
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be performing at 6
Let's
p.m.
not forget that.
Yes,
We got more speakers after this, and then the performances start around 5 o'clock-ish. Spottie's going on at 6. So obviously stick around, come back, whatever that good stuff is. But let's wrap up. Tyler or Mr. Goldie, if you guys want to finalize this.
Yeah, what I would say, if, like, you know, you're starting out with the NFT space and you're, like, you know, as an artist and you want to create something new, and let's say your funds, you don't have a lot of money. Let's say I would suggest looking at Tezos. Tezos is always a good way. The minting is absolutely dirt cheap. You're paying pennies, and the rewards are just astronomical if you succeed and you do well. So I would suggest look up Tezos. I mean, some of the UIs on a lot of these sites aren't very good. I started out actually. I started on Rarible, then I moved over to Hence to give some free stuff, but then I absolutely blew up from there, and I made a good living just from there. So just look at your options. Not everything has to be Ethereum or ETH based, and there's other things out there, and just do things that are personal to you, and make your art. Put yourself out there. It's absolutely terrifying, I know, because even like dropping this project and every project prior, I'm terrified every time I do it, because I'm like, they're not gonna like it, and I suck balls, and everything's terrible. But just do it. Have fun. And Tezos is a great way to start getting into those spots, and then eventually, work your way up to Ethereum and do all that stuff. I mean,
Yes.
and follow me. I'm on I'm a Tokblock. It's at TOKBLOKK on Twitter, and the site is I did this shit. So
I guess I'm
So good.
I guess I'm finishing
Come up
it
here and
off.
scan.
yeah, just scam this shit as whatever.
I'll finish it off, nothing too much. Some advice I would give people is kind of just like keep your foot on the gas. If you like an artist or if you a collector or whatever, y'all see how fast this space move. Continue to, reinvent, continue to come up with new ideas, continue to like stay a step ahead of yourself, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You drop a project, already be kind of envisioning your next project and your next one. Always stay a step ahead. So I think that if you do that, you'll continue to grow as the space grows. You don't want to get left. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my advice. And yeah, I'm Goldie's NFT Art on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Make us everywhere. Foundation everywhere. Goldie's NFT Art.
Love it.
Oh, can I say one more? Can I say one more thing? So with us and projects, especially NFTs and stuff like that, you can help people. Like my project, we've raised $30,000 for Ukrainian relief since And
What's up?
and
Yes.
I just want to use what we do as a way to help people. Like I like after this and the secondary starts coming in and things like that, I want to use a lot of those funds for mental health, and because when you're jumping in on these things, like when I started, it was, especially with this project, it was hard, and I had a lot of shit going on, and I think what we can do as a community, especially the NFTs, and you get a lot of people, NFTs are the blockchain causes global warming and all these things, but I think we can also use that as a good to help people if we can use a lot of the money that we make, because you can make so much money, and there's no reason why we can't give back. We should always give back. There's so many people out there that need fucking help. Let's help them. Let's do what we got to do. That's why even this, I just want most of all my shit just to help. I just want it to make a real change in the world,
Sure.
And we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that for real.
Love that. Great way to end it, y'all. Well, thank you so much for your time, everybody. Tyler, Spottie, Lindsey, Mr. Goldie. I'm your host, Visual. You guys can follow me at I See It All on all social media. It's the word I, the word see, the word it, the word all. Appreciate you guys being in here. Like I said, we have more speakers coming up. We got Spottie performing later on. I'm performing later on. And Pete's trying to tell me something. I have no idea what he's trying to tell me.
Those headphones on blue, right?
Something about the headphones being on blue. So I guess he wants them to be on blue after this when we're done. The music will be playing. Shit. Very hard to communicate while you're talking and you have headphones on. But yes, like I said, we got more speakers coming on after this. Switch your headphones over to blue if you're going to stick around so you can hear the music. If you're not, make sure you leave the headphones in the back, please, so we charge them up for the next people rotating in. And we're going to be here till 7 o'clock, guys. So like I said, performances at 5. We got a DJ coming in later. I heard we got a new DJ coming out of Chicago, coming in to just
going
crush
crazy
it,
in
just
Chicago,
crush it.
huh? We out
DJ,
here. Let's
DJ
go.
Diamond Girl's in the building. She's going to crush it. So I'm excited to hear that. And yes, please stick around. And if you're not going to stick around, make sure you guys come back. We're here in and out till 7 o'clock. Appreciate you guys. Let's give everybody a hand, though. Come on. Let's do it.